Y'all, it's your girl Angela Cherie, and we are back for another episode. Y'all know all season long we are celebrating our blackness, our dopeness, our creativity, and our ingenuity. I am super excited about this season. Y'all already know I say it all the time, but I mean it. I am excited about showcasing us. I think that this is so needed in this time where we are seeing so much hatred. We are seeing so much killing. We are seeing everything but love. And so I wanted to love on us and pour back into us. So I'm excited about this episode, which features Miss Kaylyn Hill of AWOL Media. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here and to be able to talk about entrepreneurship and just Black people and to love on us because we do need that love. We need it.
Yeah. I'm excited because I know that that is your passion. But before we jump into that, you call yourself the serial entrepreneur. So let people know what that's all about, who you are, and what it is that you do.
Okay, so I call myself a serial entrepreneur because um, I've always called myself a busybody and just I like to call myself the elite culturist. So I love our culture. I love to bring it to life. I love to augment everything. So it starts out from being a journalist to investing in partnering with other businesses that are outside of my scope. So businesses such as entrepreneurship academies and um, human resource software, things like that. I am everywhere, painting, doing clothing designs, everything, but I love it. It's something that I want to do. I want to be able to touch our culture in every aspect, in every spectrum, whether it's hands on or just I'm behind the scenes and I'm investing or I'm trying to help somebody just bring their business or their brand to life. And that's pretty much what it is. I'm just everywhere, but all it's controlled. And that's what I love about what I do.
I love that. I love that. I believe that Black media is so important in every sense of the word. A lot of people get, I guess you have certain people that get credit. You have the Spike Lee and you have Tyler Perry, but there are some young people that are up and rising and that are coming up and they're doing some amazing things in the way of media, including yourself. So talk a little bit about that because I have seen just in my research, there are so many amazing young people doing some great things. How did you get started and what are you seeing as it pertains to Black media on the rise in 2020?
Oh, girl. So, honestly, I got started at a young age. I started writing. I started writing. That's all it was. Well, I started writing at the age of 8. Did poetry. Was just
Wow.
writing and writing. Did poetry. I was doing compositions for choir in junior high, and then it just kept going. I ended up attending Southern University and going to an HBCU. I was more exposed to our culture. And my freshman year, something just hit me. I was like, I got a laptop, I have a voice, I want to say something. And I know some really talented people over here. So, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start writing reviews. And it went from writing reviews about musicians into doing interviews with musicians into going, there's more than just Black musicians. There's Black artists. There's Black this. There's Black that. And just it just kept evolving more and more. Whenever I ended up graduating and going, leaving out of state from Louisiana, going to Ohio, that's when I kind of went even more out of my comfort zone. I was ended up interviewing people from Philly, DJs and producers. It was just so fun. And after that, to me, interviews wasn't enough. Uh, so I ended up partnering with a DJ from Philly, and from that, we ended up doing a whole culture collective. We called it the Social Media Kickback, and pretty much networking with all kind of creators and giving them a voice. It was just so much, and then from there on, it just kept evolving. And so now at 2020, a way of life media has become something that's not only journalism. I ended up realizing within these 6 years of having a way of life, there's always that bridge, that gap between creators and us executing. And it's because we have so much that we want to execute, sometimes we just get overwhelmed. So that's when I started becoming the middleman and trying to help everybody streamline what they wanted, when I started helping them bring stuff to life. And so that's what I do now in 2020. So whether that's event planning or whether that's helping people understand what their career path is, or helping somebody invest, or just doing a simple interview, that's all I'm trying to do. And to me, that's what media is. That's what Black media is.
Right.
It's literally us giving people a voice to tell their story like you're doing right now. Like that is what Black media is. And so many people, Black, are kind of put to the side, and we have
Yeah.
we take up a lot of space. And I think
Yes.
we should be proud about taking up that space. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But when it comes to media in 2020, it is it's I think it's kind of a gray area at this point, and
Mm,
everybody's trying to find their niche. And especially with the pandemic, the conditions that we're in,
yeah.
we're in
Yeah.
such we're in such a tight hold right now with everything being virtual. Or I used to love doing festivals. Can't do festivals anymore. So it's like,
Yeah.
what do
Yeah.
I do? Like, how do I cater? How do I find those
Yeah.
artists? How do I find those people? So it's definitely a challenge that I'm going through right now. But I think for Black media in 2020, we're thriving. I think we have taken it and we have owned it unlike any other demographic has been able
Right.
to own it this year. Like honestly,
Yeah.
we took it and we ran with it.
That's a very good point. I think that with all that's going on around us, with the circumstances that we have really taken what we've been given, as we always do, and we have made the best of it and made it better. And
Right.
I've seen so many people start businesses and thrive really in their passions, and just really take a risk and a leap of faith in this time where most people will be like, don't do that. That's not safe. How do you know it's going to be a future in that? Like nothing is certain. But to see people
Right.
still stepping out and using their gifts in this time has been, especially our people, has been such a great thing. It's been a motivation to even me to take things a step further and not get comfortable, even though we're in an uncertain time. And so that's really,
Mm-hmm.
really good. I'll say this. I think that it has been a great thing to see, a celebratory thing to see. All of our Black shows coming back on Netflix and Hulu, all these throwbacks come back. It's given us this nostalgia, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also it's also let me, or I guess reminded me, let me say that, of how far we've come, because having a Black show back then was like a rarity, and it usually wasn't a lot. It was like one set time where there were a lot of Black shows at one time, but then you had a moment where you got like one here, that one would get canceled, and you got one there, but it wasn't really a
Mm-hmm.
consistent. So to see all of these things, Moesha, Sister Sister, you have like the movies Prison Song and what's the other movie, a lot of
Girl, I'm
movies,
ready for
okay,
girlfriend.
everything. Oh, and that was my
Yes.
show, girl.
Yes.
Everything is coming back. And it really shows us where we've come from. But a lot of those people paved the way for now the shows that are coming up, even the web shows, because it's not just on cable. We have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of web shows and different things that are happening on BET and that are giving people an opportunity and chance. So what would you say the importance of Black media is? And I brought the old school stuff back up because it was important for us at that time to see people who looked like us. When we watched Moesha, going through with Q, you know what I'm saying? Like it helped us go through what I do or whatever.
Yes.
Or when we
Yes.
saw, sister getting in trouble, because they stayed in trouble, stayed on punishment. You know what I'm saying? It was relatable. And
Yes.
sometimes when we're flipping the channels now, like you said, there is a bit of a gray area where we don't always see ourselves. And especially in this time, when we do see ourselves, it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
trauma. It's a tragedy. So what would you say the importance of Black media in a positive light is?
So I definitely believe that all these throwbacks, the representation matters. It definitely matters. And it's definitely something I can say that I was missing in my adolescence and in my past, maybe last 10 years of life. The fact that Girlfriends is coming back, the fact that Moesha came back, the fact that all
Yeah.
these things came back. We only had maybe Insecure. Yeah, we had I know they just came out with 20s, this show called 20s. We've
Yeah.
been starting to ramp back up slowly into that Black media spectrum, right? And get that presence, but it hasn't been there for a while. So to get that back, for me, whenever I see girlfriends, and personally girlfriends, because
Yeah.
those four successful women, those four women coming from different paths of life and everything like that's something I
Yeah.
need to see. I need to be able to
Yeah.
see it. I need to be able to see, well, Joan was so successful. However, she was a single woman. She was going through a lot.
Yeah.
There was Tony. She was very bougie, but that girl got, you know what I'm saying? So it's needed. It's definitely needed.
Yeah.
And especially in this time where a lot of people feel alone. You feel really
Yeah.
lonely nowadays
Very
with
true.
everything that's going on, all the tragedies. And I used to say it all the time. And I say it till this day. Living single for the past 2 years has been my best friend, because when I get
I love
off
it.
of
Yeah.
right, when I get off of work, I'm put it on. And even if it's not, even if I'm not watching it, it's just to be able to hear those Black women's voices in the
Hmm.
back. And it's
Hmm.
like I got my homegirls in the back. And if I do have a little moment where I'm like, "Ooh, girl, I'm tired," just sit on the couch and I'm watching my girls.
Yeah.
And it always uplifts my spirit, because at the end of the day, the plot behind all of those, all those episodes were beautiful. It was always
Yeah.
something, always a
Yeah.
lesson learned, always something. Um, and that's how much it means to me, to where that is my friend. I'm living alone. I'm living alone in a brand new city, and I'm going through a pandemic and quarantining. So I need that representation. I need my homegirls on the TV. I need to
That's
talk to them.
good.
Same
That's
thing
really,
with
really good.
yeah, same thing with YouTube. Like I think YouTube
Hmm.
and all the web shows,
For
the
sure.
the 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 visibility, the platforms, the Black influencers, the Black um the low key, the new and upcoming Issa Rae's, because how Issa came up on YouTube with her
Yes.
mini series, you know what I'm saying? Like that, people don't realize that's our community. Like we
I
are
love that.
community.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, because that was my next point. Like, representation does matter, but I want people to know it doesn't just matter in front of the screen. It also matters for those that are creators behind the scenes, those that are writers, those
Hmm.
that, want to produce and be executive producers and create shows. And like, I want people to know, or our people to know, that there is a lane for you. And I was going to say that Issa, she created her own lane. And so I want people to know, and listening to this and seeing her and hearing you and seeing you, that you can create your own lane. There may not be a table or a space for you, but create space. Like you said, take up space, find your space, build your own table, and make a way for yourself, because representation does matter. We need
Right.
people that write shows about our lives, that understand the culture. You know what I'm saying? We don't need people to
Thank
get it
you.
wrong. We need people to get it right. And so talk to those who may have a desire to want to be a creator, want to be behind the scenes, want to be a writer, want to create a show, whatever, want to be in
Hmm.
journalism, but they feel like, because of their color, because they are a female, even, that there isn't space for them, because you're doing it and you're showing that it can be done.
It definitely can be. And you're so right. It was such, uh, I had imposter syndrome for I think the first 5 years of having a way of life media, because, and it wasn't even because I didn't know what I was doing. It was because there was nobody doing what I was doing. So I felt as though I'm just making things up. No, I'm not making things up. I'm creating my own new lane, and hopefully there's somebody that has the same vision as me that's been trying to get into this lane, and they've just been like, how? And guess what? I can help you now. Now you see that I'm doing it. Let me pass you the torch, and let me at least help you out. Like, come on, that's what this is about. And yeah, definitely a good time where I was really, really in limbo about what I want to do. But at one point I was just like, there's no rules. I'm creating my own. I'm doing what I gotta do. There is people that need a person like me and need my services. And guess what? I'm gonna be out there, and I've been able to pick up people, and I'm like, wow, this is actually a thing, and I'm actually making my own space. I actually am part of Issa's Patreon membership, and I was able to ask her a question one day, just like I was like, hey, um, what type of content should I make? It was at the beginning of the pandemic. What type of content should I make since everybody's in quarantine? And she was answering all the questions, and she ended up saying, you make what you want to make, period. And I was like, I was taken aback. I was
Yeah,
taken aback, but I was like, you know what? This is how she got to where she is, because she was
for
that
sure.
awkward Black girl. Because she did all this, she was behind the scenes, and she ended up saying one day, you know what? Instead of being behind the scenes, I'm about to be the star. I'm about to get in front.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, wow, you're right. And I mean, that's it. I'm just creating my own box. And honestly, it's not even a box. I'm just going all out.
Yeah, I love that. I think that I take on that as well, that mentality, doing what I do. I always tell people what I
Mm-hmm.
do is not gonna ever look like what everybody else doing. I wasn't created that way. I'm not built that way, and God gave it to me the way He's given it to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to create a podcast that only talks about certain things. And when you turn on the video, it only looks a certain way. I mean, you could see a million of those, but that's just not the way He gave it to me. He
Mm-hmm.
gave it to me this way, and this is the lane that I'm in, and it has opened up other opportunities. It's been what it was created for. And so I want people to realize that it may not look like what everyone else is doing. It may not even feel like it, and sometimes you will feel like you out here by yourself and that people ain't really studying you and they're not really watching or listening. But trust me, your audience and what your platform and what your brand was built for, they will take it, they will support it, and they will
Mm-hmm.
receive it. And if it's not being received or supported by certain people, it wasn't meant to. Amen. Okay. That was the word.
Right.
It wasn't meant to. And it's
Come on
okay.
now.
Some of the things that we do, we have to do better at that as Black people, to understand everything, and everybody will not support us and everyone will not understand us, and that is
Nope.
okay. We cannot make everyone accept us, and we have to get out of that mindset. Who is going to be for is going to be for, and who is not, it wasn't meant
Mm-hmm.
for. All right.
A
So
word.
moving on, who are some of your favorite melanated creators, journalists, in media? I'm curious. I want to know.
Oh, okay. So, oh my goodness, it's gonna come. So I'm just gonna go down in different categories.
Okay.
So I guess the photographer, my favorite photographer, her name is Shayna Walker, Shaina Walker. She is awesome. She's actually in Los Angeles out of nowhere. When I tell you she it was unpredictable. I didn't even know that she was into photography. She could do photography. And when I tell you, she's doing celebrity photography, she's behind the scenes of movies, she's booming, and she has her own look, her own vibe. She's not trying to be anybody else but herself. And I need everybody to look her up. But Shayna Walker, um, definitely photographer that I love. When it comes to graphic media, I have a lot of people that I love, but I'm definitely going to shout out Sam Ross. He's from Louisiana. He is awesome. And I'm going into musicians. So let's look at DJs. So I definitely love DJ Kayla Ivory from Philadelphia. She's awesome. I love producer from California, First Period AWOL. He's an award-winning producer. When I tell you nostalgic and just futuristic beats out of this world. Musicians wise, Callie Pop from Canada. I was able to meet her. Very beautiful personality. Rihanna J. Some of her music is actually on Insecure. She's awesome. There's so many people and just the different types of creators that I've been able to meet. All of them, like, so awesome. But, but my favorite, like, one of my top journalists. Oh my good girl. So she's not a journalist right now, but she is in public relations. Her name is Bria Robinson, and she's outside. She's from Austin, Texas, and when I tell you can bring something to life, can bring your business to life with just one sentence, it is beautiful. But when it comes to journalists, the sad part is because you kind of said it at the beginning, because there's been so much fake news. A
Fake
lot of
news.
journalists have not been able to have that visibility because of
Yeah.
all of these, um,
Because of their
what is it?
authenticity.
Yeah, trying to get all these clicks, and you see all the clickbait on Twitter and all
Yeah.
this and stuff. It's kind of drowning and flooding to where you can't even see the authentic writers anymore.
Yeah.
And it's sad for me to say that, but that's kind of the reality right now. And that's kind of the challenge that we just have to figure out right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Look, you just flowing on through the points. Gone, girl. So we just gonna move on because that was the next topic, fake news. And I love that you brought that up because it's very true. I want us to really grab hold to authenticity. I think sometimes we know what's real and what's not, but we flock to the things that look more popular and that are more, yeah, like you said, clickbait. Let's say that. But I want us to do, but I think if we stop feeding into it, then there will be no platform for it. If we, refuse to follow or like or share or repost these things that maybe, I don't know. But I love that you brought that point up. Let's talk a little bit about Culture Control magazine.
Yes.
I'm super excited about this venture. I want you to tell the people about what Culture Control is all about.
Okay, so Culture Control, if you see it, is CLTR, Culture Control, CTRL. That is our logo. Culture Control is made for, I say, the elite cultures, and everybody is elite. The elite culture, though, is Black culture. And whenever I was coming up with Culture Control, I wanted to say the elite culture because everything, I'm saying it, everything has been based off of the Black culture. What I'm seeing, what I see is everybody's trying, they want to be a part of this wonderful club.
You
We
talking
everything,
right.
everybody want a membership. Everybody want a membership inside club, okay? But we are the elite culture. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a platform for the whole culture. And I'm doing all these interviews. I need to compile them. Where am I going to put them? What am I going to do? I'm tired of just putting on my website. What am I going to do? And it just came to me. Just make a magazine, girl. Do it physical, do it virtual. So it has its segments, right? It has Black Wall Street, it has Embrace, it has In Vogue, it has The Hype. So The Hype is pretty much a segment where it's going to be nothing but entertainment. It's going to be producers, it's going to be singers, rappers, all these people that will be interviewed, that will be showcased. The Embrace, and it's in apostrophe brace. It's a play on words. The N stands for, we know what the N stands for. So Embrace. And Embrace is going to be a segment that is about Black lifestyle. So it's going to be talking about Black mental health. It's going to be talking about Black skincare, everything that is part of our lifestyle. It's going to be featuring Black skincare business owners, Black therapists, all of that. Then there's Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, of course, we're going to talk about Black businesses. We're going to have Black CPAs educating us on different stocks. Or, hey, maybe everybody's been wondering, honestly, what the heck is Forex? And they are afraid to ask anybody because they don't want to start getting recruited for something. Well, guess what? We're going to have that in Culture Control, so you can read about that segment. So we've got Embrace. Then we have In Style. In Style, it's going to be one of my favorites. That's where you'll have the makeup artists, you'll have the fashion designers, you'll have the aesthetic of what Black is right there. So it's going to be those four put into a magazine, virtual and physical. And the first volume is going to be launched in January of 2021. I'm really excited. It's going to be so great.
I'm so excited for you.
Girl, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. I love giving people a voice. I really do. And I love our Black culture. Yeah. I'm so pro-Black, I ain't gonna lie. I love our Black culture so much. And
I love it.
It's gonna be something. I think this is the thing that I've been working to for years, and I couldn't put a peg on what I really wanted to do. And this is about to be my baby. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. So excited for you. I cannot wait to subscribe and to be, to see how it's received, because we need it. We honestly need this. And I love that you're giving people, because it's going to just, I guess, make us aware of all of the amazingness going on and the people that you'll share the stories. That's my thing. I love it. That's the whole reason for this season. So I am super excited. So as we conclude this conversation, I want to talk, just kind of give a guess, the last point or parting words.
Yes.
AWOL stands for a way of life,
Hmm.
productions and media. So I want to talk about that. How do
Okay.
we make this our norm? Because how do we make this a way of life? Because as we said before, sometimes there's not spaces for us, and
Hmm.
there's a gray area, and we've seen even in times past where you just didn't see anything that represented us. How do we as creators go about making this a way of life for us all?
So I think the thing is, and I was able to talk about this in therapy actually, you get so many tools. You get all the tools and we can have everything laid out and we're just not using them. We're not incorporating them into our everyday life. And sometimes whenever you're trying to break old habits and create a new lifestyle, which that's a big difference. Habits and lifestyle, that's a huge
Come
difference.
on.
We're trying to break habits, of we're unlearning things that we've been taught in these past so
Very
many years
true.
of our life. You know what I'm
Very
saying? And
true.
so, because we're unlearning everything, we are creating a whole new lifestyle. And
Yeah.
to create that lifestyle, we have to have a continuous practice. We have to have continuous support, and we have to have continuous utilization of the tools that we have. Honestly, we have so much of the tools already. We have the support
Yeah.
right there. Everything, we just have to continue to use it, and honestly just take care of ourselves, uplift each other. If somebody says I'm okay or gives you a 2-word answer, or you just see that one of your brothers or your sisters is really hurting, or they're really trying to push out something new for the media, help them.
Yeah.
Like, don't just
I
say it,
love that.
do it.
I
You've
love
got to
that.
do it. We have to do it. We have to put action behind all these words that we're doing, because
Yeah.
you can say so many nice things, but if you don't have the action behind it, we're not going to see the Black people grow. And that's how we're going to
Come
make it a way of
on.
life. Yes, you got to
Come
make it a way of
on.
life, girl. Come on
We
now.
need each other. We need each other. You said so, girl. That was a
Yes,
word. Habits versus lifestyle and needing each other and
girl.
help. Come on.
Come
And
on
there's
now.
something else that you said, and again, we're going to close, but that has been a reoccurring theme in this season as we've been having this conversation.
Mhm.
It's a repetitive thing that I'm hearing, that we are reprogramming ourselves and things that we've learned. I think that's
Mhm.
very interesting. It's come up in almost every single episode. I mean, my mind is blown because I see how important that is. So that was good, girl. I'm gonna send you an offer. Pass the collection plate.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
a word
Tithe.
right
Come
there.
on.
Praise break. Yes, ma'am. So thank you, Kaylyn. Thank you for joining
Thank
me.
you.
I wish you all the success in the world, because what you're doing is so beautiful. It's so amazing, and it's so needed. Let the people know how they can stay in touch with you, in contact with you, and be a part of everything that you got going on, girl.
Of course. So y'all go ahead, follow me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram primarily the only AWOL. So it's gonna be the only underscore AWOL. Follow me and you will see everything that we are doing. And if you want to interview, if you want to have any type of promotion, hit me up. I have my email in the bio. Come on now. I'm trying to support everybody. This is for the culture, period. That's it.
All right, you heard it here, Miss Kaylyn Hill of AWOL Media. Listen, we are serious about this as creators, and sharing our stories and helping one another. And so, if you are a creator, an aspiring creator, I hope that this episode motivates and inspires you to create your own space, your own lane, and your own content. Because again, whoever is meant for it, they will gravitate to it. Until next
Period.
time, you are listening to and watching the Ever Evolving Podcast.